Hey, beer friends. Today on Hopped Up Beer Review, we're going to be trying Fresh Hop Mass Ascension IPA from Novo Brewing Company out of Corrales, New Mexico. Thanks for joining us.
Fresh hops rising to the sky. Lift them high, lift them high. 1,000 leaves in a single flight. Fresh hop mass ascension tonight.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional, somewhat biased opinion about the beer that we are drinking and reviewing. We are back once again. I know you've missed us. There is Jay. There is Andy in the attic with the giant caterpillar on his face. I am Ben. What are we drinking today?
It's the thirsty kind.
Fresh hop. You see? Fresh hop. Centennial Mass Ascension from Ex Novo. We've done the Mass Ascension, but not the fresh hop.
All right. Jay, is this one you picked up or one that was supplied to us?
No, I actually picked this up and I drank it on draft, and they had two fresh hops when I was there. So we have another one that'll come down the stream as well. But they are, it's one that I was very fortunate and lucky to get to have while I was out there. I had both in Corrales and the Albuquerque tap room when I was visiting in September.
So
August.
since he's had it on draft and not in a can, technically he can go first, Ben? Is that how the rules go?
I have had it in a can too.
Oh, okay.
I bought lots of this because of that reason. It's a very good beer. So I will be very biased.
You're going to spoil the ending.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers,
mate.
mates.
Got to leave a cliffhanger so we can have people actually watch the whole show.
Who does that? Yeah, I'm going to get more of that. I'm going to figure that out. What is that? Well, let's read it. Let's talk about it. Fresh Hop Mass Ascension. It is a fresh hop West Coast IPA, 6.9%, 56 IBUs. I know all of you people watching it are faithful fans. We've got more than one now. And we did the Mass Ascension by Ex Novo. So I talked about it being West Coast IPA and all of its goodness. It is an IPA that has been freshly hopped with Centennial hops, picked and flown down from Oregon, just as Jay had mentioned. It's also brewed with Simcoe and Mosaic hops, but then they add the fresh Centennial hops to it too. They use Chico yeasts, two-row malt, and Crystal 15 malt. It has notes of citrus and stone fruit mixed with dank freshness, and a flavor profile that is fruity and hoppy. This fresh hop, and this is a seasonal beer. Mass Ascension IPA, the regular, is core year-round. I think we mentioned it was a flagship beer. But the Fresh Hop series is seasonal. The Fresh Hop series in general, as Jay mentioned, because they do it for several beers in their lineup, it showcases a rotating lineup of beers that are brewed annually with freshly harvested hops, primarily during hop harvest season, and then they emphasize vibrant and aromatic qualities unique to hops that are used within hours of being picked rather than dried or pelletized.
Yeah.
So,
and it usually, I think, like that, summer, fall time frame when I've noticed it. And like I said, they had two this year when I was out there, but it's a very limited season and it goes very fast. When we were in the Corrales tap room, we actually helped blow the last keg there because Ed, who's been on the show, got the last fresh hop Elliott that they had, which is another fresh hop beer we'll try. And then when we got down to the Albuquerque tap room, they still had both of them on draft, so we were very fortunate to get both those again.
I saw where they did the Elliott and then the German overalls.
I don't know
Did
if
they
that
do?
was this year or last year, but
Yeah.
they do like you said, a series of them where they'll pick several of their beers. I have had at least 3 or 4 of them over the years. I know last year when I was out there, they had 2 or 3 on draft, and I always try
And
those
this
if they ever
is
have them.
relatively new by them, right? I think it started. My intel says it started in 2024. It could be wrong. 2023. Okay.
I think it's 3 years they've done this now. I believe it would be around the time that the the owner sold off of the original brewery and tap room up in Oregon, uh, and focused his operations in Corrales. And so then that's where he took all of the stuff and then the hops from Oregon and all of his contacts to bring that down. So that's just a guess on my part, but it's they're always highly sought after in the coolers and on draft.
Okay.
All right.
That's enough about the beer. Ex Novo Brewing Company out of Corrales, New Mexico. It's a brew pub. Started in 2014. Originally out of Portland, Oregon. And then they had a location in Beaverton. And they moved down to Corrales in 2019, correct? Corrales, New Mexico, where they have multiple locations at Albuquerque and Corrales.
Yeah, they always had the one in. I mean, he opened the one in Oregon and opened one in Corrales because this is his hometown, and then
Be close to
it
the
was
fam.
probably 3 years ago they opened the one in downtown Albuquerque, which has full bar and really good food options and things like that. So.
All right. As we have predetermined, Jay's had a bunch of this. Andy or I have not had any of it. Andy, are you ready to go first?
He's trying to get every bit of that out of the can.
Get it. Goodness.
Whoa!
Do I look ready to go first, Ben?
You don't.
Is this the behavior of somebody who's ready to go first?
It's the behavior of somebody who's trying to
Stall.
Squeeze every bit
stall,
out of
yes. Drag it out. So I can jump in and go
I will
first.
go first. You know, you actually went first on Mass Ascension, Ben. So I will go first on
Well,
Fresh Hop
I know
Mass
you
Ascension.
don't get as much chance to actually try the beer when you're talking about it. So
I'm channeling the essence. I really like it. And it is a fresher tasting. It is pretty interesting how it tastes fresher, even in the can, but when using those hops. And which when I read the term dank freshness, I was like, isn't that kind of like an oxymoron? Because when I think dank, I think kind of like stale or older, but freshness, it's like I kind of see how that comes out, and it does have that citrus, floral, aromatic, but it tastes fresh. And this one actually, to me, tastes more like the West Coast style than the actual Mass Ascension, because I think we talked about it. It reminded me more of just a typical American IPA. So I'm going to give this one a better score. This is really good. This is an 8.5, and it feels much lighter than 6.9%. The freshness coming out.
yeah, I think this one compared to Mass Ascension is a little bit too far of the West Coast for me. West Coast is my least favorite. Now, I'll say it's not heavy West Coast, right? I mean, it's not. I've definitely had heavier West Coast, so it's kind of on the fringe of the West Coast. But I can taste enough of, just that piney, yeah, that it's not going to be one that I'm good with one and done on this one. I definitely agree with you, Andy, on the
Hello,
freshness. I think there are a lot of, the flavor definitely pops. The floral citrus, it pops unlike other beers that we had, and so I think that is a good part of the beer. But I can't get over even the West
Yeah,
Coast that's there.
high off
Yeah.
my tongue. Yeah,
Yeah.
scrape it off.
So I can appreciate this one for what it's worth, but for me personally, this is not one that, again, I can knock this one off on Untapped and move on to the next thing for me. Yeah. I'm going to give this one a 7. Again, I think the freshness is interesting, and I actually have a question for you, Jay, before you go. But again, I think for me, I appreciate what they're doing. It's not going to be one for me though, long term. Jay, the question I have is, with that freshness, are you able to ascertain a difference? We normally say the draft and keg beer is going to be better, right? I mean, I think we all agree we'd rather have a beer on draft than out of a can.
Pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something that you can, that's, a measurable amount? And I know you're not having them side by side, but do you think that's measurable in this one, given that the freshness of the hops is something that they advertise?
It's interesting to me. Normally, I would say yes, that's going to be always a factor if you're having something on draft, especially if you've got something that's canned, a couple of months ago, which I think this probably was. I don't know. It's got a canned on date, but I can't quite read it. I think it says 8/25/25. So, I mean, we're talking within literally a couple of months. If this was probably 6 months or a year, maybe you could tell a bigger difference, especially being an IPA, the way they break down. Obviously, I'm always going to prefer the draft. I think it's always great. Um, the problem I have on draft when you're trying those is they have two of these at the same time. So you're really doing more of a comparison to those two beers versus trying to compare against the cans. This one to me, it's really good in the can. It's excellent on draft. So if there is a discernible difference, it's very minute in the way that this one's done and the way they've canned it and how close it is to the born on or the canned on date. So I wouldn't say not. I can't taste a discernible difference in this one. That said, this is another wonderful creation that they've done. I love the Fresh Hop series. Like I said, I had several last year. I bought several, brought them back home. Did the same this year. I really am excited for you guys to even try the other one that we have and see what you think about it. But I agree with Andy. I mean, it's really good. I'd love to get more of it. And I hear you, Ben. I know that West Coast, that piney. I have buddies that have been on the show. Even they're like, yeah, that's like pine needles in a can. I just don't know why you drink that, but this one is really good. It's an 8.5 for me too, Andy. I wish they did it more often, but I get it, and that's part of it.
That is going to be an 8.0 for the Fresh Hop Mass Ascension IPA from Ex Novo. Definitely one that if you like IPAs, you should give a shot. If you can find it where you are located, pick up a couple. We've done a lot of Ex Novo, so we've got a really good Ex Novo playlist. Check out some of the other beers. Start with the Mass Ascension that we had. That is this is a derivative of, and go through that list. We've got some good beers they offer. So if you see some out in the wild, you need to grab them and give them a shot. Let us know what you think down in the comments. You can also come jump in our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. It is a chat room. There is only one scary guy with a mustache there, and that's Andy. And he's not too scary. So you can come on in and check us out there and chat with us.
Mustaches. Why are you denying
beards.
this?
Beards.
You have a beard. What's part of a beard? You can have a beard without a mustache. Right.
We got other links down below for Hopped Up Beer Review merch, Hopped Up Beer Review Patreon, some other things. Check all that out as well. Thank you for joining us on this show. Be sure to like, subscribe, cheers, and notification bell. For Andy in the attic with the mustache and Jay, I am Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Ascension tonight.